Great morning, great morning, great morning. I am Nicole D. Jones, and I'm just happy and grateful for another day. I'm happy and grateful for life. I'm happy and grateful for you. I don't take days for granted. I don't take them lightly. And I, by faith, believe that at this point, you don't either. I'm happy and I'm grateful because I know that someone did not wake up today. I know that just because we wake up, there's no guarantee that we're going to make it through the day. Just because we are here this morning does not mean we'll be here tonight. So, for that alone, for that perspective and that mindset, I'm happy and I'm grateful for every day that I have. I don't take it lightly. I don't take it for granted. And I don't take you lightly or for granted. And I want to remind you from the beginning that you are healthy, you are wealthy, you are prosperous, and everything that your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow great things because you are great. You are great. You alone are great. Okay. You alone are purposed. You alone, you, the purpose for your life being created on the cross, not when you got here. You are relevant, you're necessary, and you're needed. So thank you for being willing to share you with me. I don't take that for granted. But we have been in James. I told y'all this natural James be nothing to donkey sometimes, but this good old James from the book, he is on point all the time. Y'all need to read it. It's only 5 chapters, New Testament, back in the back. It's the I believe the book of wisdom, the new book of wisdom. Proverbs is the book of wisdom in the Old Testament, but I do believe that the book of James is the New Testament book of wisdom. But we started chapter 2 last week. And so of course, this far, we know that we're counting it all joy. We know that we can't be double-minded. We know and we understand that nothing happens by chance or surprise to Jehovah God in a day. It's preordained and it's predestined, but it may come to a surprise to us. But we've got to get to the point where we shift our perspective, okay? You've got to get to a place where no matter what happens, you keep getting up. Keep getting up, all right? As long as we on our back, and I know some of y'all that fight, y'all, I can fight on my back. I can scrap on my back. Okay, that's cool. Because listen, I can too. However, if you stand in flat foot with something, it's better. Okay? If you can stand flat foot and you fighting toe to toe, it's a little better. You can have more leverage, all of that. So when things happen or things are not going your way and you feel like it's heavy and you don't know what you're going to do, keep getting up. I'm telling you, keep getting up. So we've learned that. We learn not to be double-minded or unstable, because when we go back and forth with our thoughts or when we go back and forth with our decisions, we're double-minded and we're unstable. But you have to know that no matter what, there is a way of escape. Everything that happens that does not line up with what you think and how you feel, y'all know that there's a way out, right? And am I minimizing what you're going through? Yes. I'm not minimizing how it feels with you. I'm not minimizing the situation. But what I want you to understand is no matter how you feel and no matter what it is, there's something greater. And sometimes we have to learn how to be still. We got to fall back and not my will, but your will be done in my life. See, we're learning to be the best version of us unapologetically because we're learning to submit and be humble. We're not doing it through arrogance and pride. We're not doing it with the it's my way or no way. But the reality is our flesh rises, and that's where we want to go. We want to be like, nah, it's what I say. It's not what you say, it's what I say. But sometimes what you say is not right. I know we think we a bag of chips and all that, but sometimes we ain't the right flavor. And it's okay, because none of us get it right 100% of the time. That's why we need accountability and we need one another. Okay. But last week we talked about, oh yeah, don't judge a book by its cover. Y'all go back and look at them. But today I want us to go to James 2:14. What does it profit? No, I don't want to read this version. Hold on. Sorry, y'all. I'm going to do the NIV. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or a sister is without clothes and daily food. If one of you say to them, go in peace, keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical need, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself, if it is not accompanied by action, is dead. But someone will say, you have faith, I have deeds. Show me your faith without deeds, and I'll show you my faith by my deeds. You believe that there is one God. Good. Even the demons believe that and shudder. You foolish person. Do you want evidence that faith without deeds is useless? Was not our father Abraham considered righteous for what he did when he offered his son Isaac on the altar? You see that his faith and his actions were working together, and his faith made complete by what he did. And the scripture was fulfilled that says, Abraham believed God, and it was credited to him as righteousness. And he was called God's friend. You see that a person is considered righteous by what they do and not by faith alone. In the same way, was not even Rahab the prostitute considered righteous for what she did when she gave lodging to the spies and sent them off in a different direction? As the body without the spirit is dead, so faith without deeds is dead. And I know y'all have heard faith without works is dead. Man, this is good. I don't know about y'all, but listen. So we know not to judge a book by its cover. Okay. We know that we shouldn't be looking to the left or the right. See, I think what happens with us is we think that good intentions is what makes us great. Good intentions is not what builds your character. Note takers and money makers. I hope somebody is catching this. All right. Good intentions is not what builds your character. It's not what feeds it. It's not what helps it. It's not what your integrity is. Good intentions actually paves the road to hell. Okay? You can have good intentions. We all have good intentions. I don't know about you, but I don't go out with a conscious mind to think of doing some people dirty. I don't sit around and wonder how can I do someone dirty. You know what I'm saying? Like when I commit to something or when I agree to do something, my intentions are good. Okay? But what happens if you're that person who overcommits? You overcommit yourself. You realize that if you overcommit yourself, you kind of a people pleaser. Just a little. All right? I say that in love, not in judgment. But I need you to see you. Because see, we're learning to be the best version of us. Good intentions ain't going to make it to glory. It's not going to get you in. Okay? What happens is if we believe that our footsteps are ordained by God, all right? If we believe that we have purpose in every day, then there's already an agenda for us. All right. I believe that every day we are a blessing and we are blessed. It's both ways. Okay. It is give and take. It's just like this. All right. So in that, when we start over, what is the word? Like we overextend ourselves. All right. So what was planned in our day was maybe I was supposed to take someone to the doctor's office. I was giving them a ride, and then I had to go to my job, or I had an appointment myself. But then someone calls me out the blue and I choose to pick up and do what they did or what they needed me to do. So now I'm trying to rearrange my day. But the reality is I wasn't supposed to do that. So now my whole day is jacked up. And at the end of the day, I haven't finished or done everything that I committed to do. Okay. So now my word is no good. Now, whoever didn't get what I said that they were going to get, my word was no good. Okay. And we can give one another grace, and we can say, oh, well, I know she meant well, but what if the ball that I dropped was so important to that person, and now I just messed up their stuff and I didn't get my stuff done. Okay. We got to be careful. All right. Because you got to know that faith without works is dead. So when we believe, if we believe that our footsteps are predestined and preordained, then we have to be intentional to do the things that are destined in our day, to do the things that it is that we're supposed to do. All right. This is another thing. Everything that you do, because you got to remember, everything that your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest, prosper, and grow. So if you're just doing stuff and you all over the place, then everything that your hands go and touch, it's going to be all over the place too. The foundation is not going to be solid. Okay. You got to think about this. And you got to remember that you're known by the fruit that you bear. I was over a women's group. We haven't met in a bit, but when I was over it and people would start like debating with me, see, because it was a women's group, and it was through my church. Shout out to Rainfire. But it was at my church, and so of course people want to tell me their walk with God, and I would just finally say, where's your fruit? Where's your fruit? If you tell me you're a good person, then there should be good fruit around you. Where's your fruit? Because if you're a good person and everything that your hands go to touch, it must, it shall, and it will manifest and grow, then everyone around you, I should see good in them. I'm so glad I can't see like how many people are on here and what anyone would say. Don't hang up. Y'all don't hang up. Y'all don't get off the line. Listen, we learning to be the best versions of us unapologetically. All right. In order for us to do that, we got to be willing to look at us. So we need to do a little self-check on our own garden. We got to stop being so worried about everybody else's garden. Stop looking over the fence, trying to see what your neighbor growing, and let's tend your land. Okay. So what your fruit look like? What's your circle? Who got access to you? Who do you access? And why? Because you're going to be known by the fruit that you bear. You're going to be known. Birds of feathers flock together, however you want to say it. So where's your fruit? All right. Now in this, it talked about, because, he's talking to believers, because he said, let me go back. Somebody, so now let me go to this other translation. Let's go to the New Living. It says, suppose you see a brother or sister who has no food or clothing, and you say, goodbye, have a good day, stay warm and eat well. But then you don't give that person food or clothing. Listen, if I'm hungry and naked, don't you tell me to have a good day. My day ain't good, obviously. I'm hungry and naked. We got to stop it. All right? Your good deeds. That person need food, feed them. That person need clothes. But the reality is, how many of us are willing to take from ourselves to give to someone else? But you're known by the fruit that you bear. Okay? You're known by your deeds. You want me to believe that you're a good person, but you can ride off and be all right with that. And I am not saying that you have to help everyone. That's not what I'm saying, because I firmly believe that we are all called to specific people at specific times. Okay? Here in Atlanta, there are homeless people on every corner I stop out, and there's more than one. But when I feel in my heart to give, I give. All right? If we're riding through and Jaden stops me and says, Mommy, can I give them this? I stop, because he doesn't do it all the time. So I believe that it is laid on my heart to do, and I do it. All right? And I don't worry about what they do with it when I leave, because I did what I'm supposed to do. When God lays on your heart to sow, sow. Don't be sitting up here talking about, well, I ain't giving it to her because she gonna go get her nails done. That's between her and whatever bill she was supposed to pay or not pay. All right? You do your part when it's laid on you. We think about the wrong stuff. We got this, we just be twisted. All right. So faith by itself isn't enough unless it produces good deeds. It is dead and useless. Some may argue, some people have faith, others have good deeds. But I say, how can you show me your faith if you don't have good deeds? You say you have faith, for you believe that there is one God. Good for you. Even the demons believe this and they tremble in terror. Y'all do know Lucifer was the highest angel, right? That's it. Just is what it is. If you a believer, a non-believer, whatever, at the end of the day, every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess that he, Jehovah God, is Lord. Okay? So while we going through this journey, whoever believes whatever, listen, I'm not here. I don't do calls like that. I respectfully, you do what you do. I know what I do. I believe in the Trinity. I believe in Jehovah God. But at the end of it all, y'all do realize that everyone believes in something. Even if they say, I just believe in a higher power, everyone believes in something. All right? Demonic, demons, whatever. If you are imp being used, listen, that we get caught up on the wrong thing. All right? Get caught up on the wrong thing. So even demons believe this. So it ain't good enough just for you to say that you believe in God. If I don't see no God in you, don't get mad at me when I don't call you to pray with me. I don't see no. Whew, I ain't even gonna go down that rabbit hole. All right. So Abraham was willing to give his son as a sacrifice, and God called him friend. Okay? Faith and works. You can have faith to believe that something is laid on your heart to do, but if you don't go do anything to do it, you're not going to receive it. And then you want to be sitting somewhere mad. You want to be sitting. See, this is why it's not good to expect people. See, you can't walk around here being the victim. You can't put your livelihood and what you desire to have in someone else's hand. You do realize that's a form of control, right? You're still letting someone control you. But I feel like I'm going to rabbit hole. I'm going to stop. Y'all get it. Y'all read it. James 2, it starts at 14 and it goes down to 26. But today, for Meal Prep Monday, I'm saying this to you because I want to encourage you as you go through this week. You got to remember that it takes more than your lip service. All right? It takes more than your vision. It takes more than what you believe. It takes more than what you wrote down. Okay? You write the vision and you make it plain so that those who see it may run with it. That's works. You got to get up and do something with it. And in its appointed time, it shall come to pass. So when we write our visions and we make them plain, yes, we put a date on it because we're setting goals. But you got to remember, you can't write something down and then do nothing to work it. Everything that you do, your actions, is what people are going to remember you by. All right? They're going to remember you by that. I'm in a new space. I'm writing my chapter 49. Initially, I thought it was like real muffed up. I thought it was, starting off real ganky. But now the second month into it, we in the third month of the year of 2022. But as I'm going through the days, see, because I still have a goal. There are things I still don't understand. But as I keep getting up every day, I'm finding more peace. Then it's not changing what I'm going through. It's not changing the situation. This is why I keep telling you, it's never what you go through. It's how you get through it. But I want to encourage you to know today that everything that's happening is tailor-made for you to be the best version of you. I know it does not feel good, but you think about if you're molding something or you're making something, and think of an ice sculpture. If they mess up, as beautiful as ice sculptures are, They're beautiful in the end. But do you think that those jokers never made a mistake in shaping it and forming it? So they'll have to take a chisel and start breaking ice away. Sometimes they have to just start over. But when you're consistent and you're persistent, when you keep getting up, even if it's a time where you got to chisel a part off, keep getting up. Never lose focus of your tomorrow, of your prize. Don't lose focus of it. Every day isn't going to be a good day, but every day is necessary for you to be able to shed off, regroup, reevaluate, think some things over. Every day. I had this thing all mapped out. When my dad passed away, I knew that I had to go and I had to do things for him. I had to do things for me. I'm still a mom. I'm still a wife. I still work. I had all this stuff in my head of how it's going to work. Ain't nothing worked the way that I thought it would in my head. But I have peace to know that the decisions I made, the goals, the end, they're right. So now every time something kind of blindsides me or hits me a certain way, I just got to fall back for a minute, but I got to keep getting up. I'm learning that when these things happen, because y'all know we get something on our mind and we could just go poof, we could have like tunnel vision. Okay, we have tunnel vision. You think about Abraham with Isaac. He had the knife up because God told him to sacrifice his son. He had the knife up, ready to use him as the sacrifice. God had to call Abraham's name twice. He said, Abraham. Man, Abraham was so focused on what he believed God said. He was about to do it, and he had to say, Abraham, Abraham. He had to get his attention. He said, look over. And then there was a lamb, there was an animal tied up in a bush. And he said, use that as the sacrifice. Sometimes we can get so focused, like he was literally about to kill his son because he was so focused on what God said. He was so focused on the goal. But even in that, God saw his heart. And so he made provision. Sometimes when things ain't going the way that we want them to go, first of all, God knows what's best for us. But we don't even want to see that thing through. We become entitled and spoiled. And we're like, nah, this is what I'm going to do. This is what I want. This is what I'm going to do. And we forfeit our blessing. We can't do that. Because everything that we're going through is just a step. And it's a step that we have to take to be the best version of us. And when we leave this journey, you'll be known by the fruit that you bear. All right. So today, this week, I want you to be intentional to look at the fruit that you're bearing. Look at what it is that you're doing. When someone gets upset with you, be willing to fall back. Don't just clap back, because every argument ain't even worth it. They ain't even worth your breath or your time or conversation. All right. But we got to get to a point where we know that faith without deeds, faith without works is dead. Okay. We can believe something, but we've got to see good fruit being bared from whatever it is that we're trying to do. All right. So I want you to stay focused, stay humble, and stay positive this week. Continue to be the best version of you unapologetically through a posture of submission to Jehovah God that will produce. You will walk out. Your works will be done in humility. We're never doing it in arrogance and pride. Okay. We're never doing it that way. So again, I am Nicole D. Jones, and I want you to continue to have a fantabulous rest of the day. Smooches.